All right, thank you guys. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully, you got your week off to, a pretty good start yesterday. Now, we got ourselves a marginal size slate of NBA action here today, only 6 games. And if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you're new here and you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please feel free to do that right now as well. I greatly appreciate it. Now, for those who don't already know, my name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you want to know what all my picks are for this video right now, you can actually locate them in my quick pick recap at the end of the video. There's actually a link for my quick pick recap in the comment section below. It's pretty much every pick for this video wrapped up in about 30 seconds. It'll save you a lot of time. But anyway, guys, if you want to stick around and kind of join me here for the next 15 minutes or so, let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to start with the Raptors versus the Magic, 7 p.m. Eastern start time in Orlando. The Toronto Raptors are -6, totals 215 flat. And if you like the Magic in an upset at home here, they're plus 180 on the money line. Now, we're 4-0 in our last 4 daily best plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to access today's daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99 when you click the link in the description section below. We also have a membership on that Patreon site called the Board Member Tier, and that package gives you access to every single pick I give out on that site as well. But if you just want to find out what our daily best play is today, for $1.99. Once again, link for that pick is in the description section below. And once again, the website is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, despite a little bit of a rough patch here recently, we're still looking at a Raptors squad who's in the top 5 in offensive rebounding. They're also in the top 10 in defending the 3-ball at home. Nick Vucevic is scoring 23 points a game. Look. Let's try that again. Despite a bit of a rough patch here recently, we're still looking at a Magic squad, an Orlando Magic squad. Sorry about that. Who's in the top 5 in offensive rebounding. They're also in the top 10 in defending the 3-ball at home. Nick Vucevic is scoring 23 points a game, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. Meanwhile, Evan Fournier is scoring nearly 18 points a night himself, along with a couple of rebounds and 4 assists as well. The Magic's in the top 3 in the NBA defensively in third quarter points allowed at home. They're taking on a Toronto squad who's dropped 3 out of their last 4 ball games themselves. The Raptors have also struggled on the road this season, just 2-7 straight up when they travel, 33% against the spread in those road games. Toronto's in the bottom 5 in offensive field goal percentage away from home. Bottom 10 defensively in points allowed when they travel. Now, OG Anunoby's still out. Norm Powell is questionable. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Toronto's last 4 ball games got over the number. 5-4 to the over this season on the road. Meanwhile, Orlando saw 3 out of their last 4 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Orlando Magic +6 and the over 215. Before we go ahead and move on here, guys, just want to take another quick time out and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday's NBA basketball action. Once again, happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you had a great start to your week on a Monday. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we've won our last 4 straight daily best plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to unlock today's daily best play, it's just $1.99 when you click the link in the description section below. We also have a board member package that gives you access to every single pick I produce on that website. It's our top tier membership. And just remember, guys, real quick, just a friendly reminder, when you sign up for a membership on my Patreon site, you're actually going to get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So we're in the 2nd of February. We're at the beginning of the month. You're getting really, really good value for your money. You're going to get billed today when you sign up and then March 1st. So you're going to get access pretty much through the rest of February. Now, for those who are wondering what the difference is between my free picks here on YouTube and my Patreon site. What I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you. As I break down the daily card and focus in on just 4 to 5 premium selections per day, they're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus wagering on every single game on the slate, side and total, like I do here with my free leans on YouTube. And if you want to join our paid Patreon members, we currently have over 1,100 paid Patreon members on that site. And if you want to get in on the action yourself and join those folks, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on here, guys, we're going to take a look at the game of the night. A lot of folks with some eyes on this one. I'm talking about Clippers versus the Nets, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Brooklyn. The Nets are the 1.5-point favorite at home. Totals 243.5. Now, the Nets have won 4 out of their last 5 contests. They're actually leading the NBA in scoring and offensive field goal percentage. Now, the Nets are averaging nearly 123 points a game, and they also hit nearly 41% of their three-pointers. Kevin Durant is averaging 31 points a game, along with real quick, I just said that Brooklyn won, what did I say, 4 out of their last 5? I think it was 3 out of their last 4. I got to double check that. Let me know in the comments section below. I believe it was 4 out of their last, maybe it was 3 out of their last 4 or 4 out of their last 5. They've grabbed themselves, a handful of wins over the past week or so. But anyway, they're averaging 123 points a game, and they're hitting nearly 41% of their three-pointers. Kevin Durant's averaging 31 points a game, along with 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving scoring 28 points a night himself, along with 5 rebounds, 6 assists himself. Brooklyn's 9-4 straight up at home, and they lead the association in fourth quarter scoring. They're taking on a Clippers team who'll have to go to work without Patrick Beverley. Bev's been battling a knee injury. Meanwhile, Nicholas Batum's listed as questionable for the Clippers as well. LA's in the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding, and they rank in the bottom 10 in fourth quarter scoring. One more thing to add about the Clippers. They're in the bottom 10 defensively in fourth quarter points allowed. And when it comes to the total on this one, LA's 60% to the over in their last 10, 12-9 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Nets saw 9 out of their last 10 themselves get over the line. They're also 69% to the over at the Barclays Center. I'm going to lean toward the Brooklyn Nets minus 1.5 and the over 243 and a hook. All right, next contest, it is going to be Grizzlies versus the Pacers, 8 p.m. East. The Pacers are minus 6 at home, totals 215. Now, Indiana's on a 2-game losing streak, just 2-6 against the spread in their last 8. Indiana's in the bottom 3 in offensive rebounding, bottom 5 in defending the 3-ball. They've covered the number in just 5 out of their last 12 home games. They're taking on a red-hot Memphis team who's on a 7-game winning streak themselves, and they went 8-1 against the number in their last 9. The Grizzlies are in the top 5 defensively in points allowed on the road, top 10 in defensive rebounding in that same category. John Morant scoring 21 points a game along with a couple of boards and 8 assists. Meanwhile, Dylan Brooks is scoring 15 points a night himself, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for the shooting guard. The Grizzlies are 6-1 straight up on the road this season, and they successfully covered the number 6 times during that stretch. Now, total-wise, Memphis' last 2 straight both got over the number, 70% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Indiana. Meanwhile, the Pacers are 6-2 to the over in their last 8 themselves, 60% to the over for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Memphis Grizzlies plus 6 and the over 215. All right, next contest I have for you, it is going to be Blazers versus the Wizards, 8 p.m. Eastern start time. The Washington Wizards are minus 2 at home, numbers 240. And if you like the Blazers in a slight upset on the road here, they're plus $1.10 for some money line cash. And despite a bit of a rough patch here, the Blazers have still covered in 2 out of their last 3 contests. Now, Portland is 6-3 against the number when they travel, and they rank in the top 10 defensively in fourth quarter points allowed on the road. Now, of course, C.J. McCollum, he's still out for the Blazers. He's going to be out for a significant period of time here. But Dame Lillard's still dropping 29 points a game along with 5 rebounds and 7 assists. Meanwhile, Gary Trent Jr. scoring a dozen a game himself, along with a couple of rebounds. We're looking at a Portland team who's taking on a Wizards team who's just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. And they also lost 7 out of their last 9 ball games straight up. The Wizards are last in the NBA in points allowed. They're also last in defensive field goal percentage. They're just 2-6 straight up at home, and they give up 121 points a night at the Capital One Arena. Raul Neto is still, he's out for tonight's action for Washington. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Washington's last 3 did get over the line, 75% to the over on their home court. Meanwhile, Portland went 5-1 to the over in their last 6 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Portland Trailblazers +2 and the over 240. All right, next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Pistons versus the Jazz, 10 p.m. East. The Jazz are -12 at home, totals 221. Utah's 11-1 straight up in their last dozen ball games. They also went an amazing 11-1 against the spread during that 12-game stretch as well. Utah leads the association in offensive rebounding. They also lead the NBA defensively in points allowed at home. The Jazz give up just 104 points per contest at the Vivint Smart Home Arena, and they're first in home defensive rebounding. Donovan Mitchell scoring 23 points a game for the Jazz, 4 rebounds, 5 assists a night for the shooting guard. Meanwhile, Jordan Clarkson scoring 18 points a night off the bench, along with 5 rebounds and a couple assists himself. The Jazz are making 40% of their three-pointers this year, and they're also taking on a 5-15 Pistons squad who lost 8 out of their last 9 road games. Now, the Pistons are last in offensive rebounding on the road. They're also last in defensive field goal percentage away from home as well. Detroit's currently 1 game ahead of Washington for last place in the Eastern Conference. Now, total-wise, Detroit's gone 6-3 to the over in their last 9, 7-2 to the over on the road. Meanwhile, the Jazz saw 4 out of their last 6 get over the line themselves. Of course, that's throwing out the Knick game during that stretch. I'm going to lean toward the Utah Jazz, -12, and the over 221. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup. It is going to be Celtics versus the Warriors, 10 p.m. Eastern start time in the Bay. The Boston Celtics are -4, total 226. Now, the Celtics are going to be going to work without Marcus Smart for a few weeks. He's got a strained left calf, and he's expected to sit out a handful of games here. Now, the Boston Celtics, they've also lost 5 out of their last 7 contests. Really rough stretch for them over the past couple of weeks, and they only cover just 40% of their road games for the entire season. Now, Boston's in the bottom 10 in defensive field goal percentage, bottom 5 in fourth quarter scoring. Now, they're taking on a Golden State team who's won 3 out of their last 4, and they also cover nearly 70% of their home games. As a matter of fact, Golden State is currently 8-4 straight up at the Chase Center, and they lead the NBA in defensive field goal percentage at home. Steph Curry scoring 28 points a night, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Meanwhile, Andrew Wiggins is scoring 18 points a game himself, along with 5 boards and a couple assists as well. Now, real quick here, guys. Curry, Wiggins, and Kelly Oubre, they've all started in all 20 of Golden State's games this season. Now, total-wise, well, before we get to the total, one more thing about the Warriors. They are scoring nearly 116 points a night on their home court. Now, total-wise, oddly enough, Golden State's last 2 contests stayed under the number, 7-5 to the under officially at the Chase Center. Meanwhile, the Celtics saw their last 3 straight stay under the line themselves, 90% to the under in their last 10 meetings with Boston. I'm going to lean toward the underdog, Golden State Warriors +4, and the under 226. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 4-0 in our last 4 daily best plays on that site, 7-1 straight up in our last 8. I'm going to lean toward the Orlando Magic +6 over 215, Brooklyn Nets -1.5 over 243 and a hook, Grizzlies +6 over 215, Blazers +2 over 240, Utah Jazz -12 over 221. And before I give you our next and final contest for the show, one final reminder that you can access today's daily best play on Patreon for just $1.99 by clicking the link in the description section below. Please feel free to smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. You can also subscribe right now if you haven't done so already. Give me the Golden State Warriors +4 and the under 226. With that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to Chris Brown, Winston Avenue TV, Dane James, Jeffrey Pinkian, Carl Douglas, Savage J, Munir Big Baby, B. Rocco, Isaiah Moore, and last but certainly not least, gotta give a shout out to my man, George Sylvia. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. Just another quick reminder, if you guys decide to get a package here today on Patreon, just keep in mind we bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So right now it's the beginning of the month. You're going to get pretty good value for your money. If you sign up, you get billed today, and then your next payment will be on March 1st. So pretty good value there. But anyway, guys, a lot of folks, when they sign up for Patreon, some folks will kind of use all my picks. Other folks will use maybe half of them. A lot of those members kind of compare my picks to theirs. Other folks get on there and they fade all my picks, and that's fine. No big deal. They'll pick and choose the cold packages and fade those plays and maybe tail some of the plays in the hot packages. But for the most part, a lot of those Patreon members, they sign up for the board member package. And what happens is if you're a board member, you get access to every pick that I produce, on that site. So if I do 5 different tier picks on that site, board members see all those. They get access to all those picks. So a lot of the board members will just take all my picks and put together a juicy 4 to 5 leg parlay. I don't recommend that, but that's kind of like the way most people use that site, and that's fine. That's okay. But anyway, just figured I'd give you a heads up about that. But anyway, guys, one more thing. If you end up getting a package on Patreon, take, for example, if you end up getting like the $9.99 package, just keep in mind all the cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. So, all the lesser expensive tiers, they're included. So if you're signed up for the $9.99 package and we have plays going out that day in the cheaper memberships, you're going to see those. You get access to those. You're entitled to those. So anyway, guys, most importantly, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.